I couldn't help but have a couple of thoughts as I watched and listened. Number one, to all you student athletes, there's a reason we no longer use Hulitt as a dormitory. We aren't as dumb as you think we are. Also, I couldn't help but think, Tom and I started and ended together, but he's so much older than me. I don't know how that happened, and how Coach Touchton gets younger. He doesn't look different, except maybe a couple pounds heavier.
70 or 80.
Yeah. But it's so great to have, and I have to say, Dickie Hill, thank you so much for getting this started. Not just for the honorees and not just for those of us who work here, but I love that these student athletes get to experience the quality of the athletic programs, which have been at this school for a long time. Someone was here doing a marketing survey for us, and they said the one thing that you don't talk about enough is your college. You guys are winners. You're winners in athletics, you're winners in academics, you're winners in spirituality, and people need to know the winning tradition of York College. And I'm so proud to be associated with a school that has such a proud athletic heritage. And our coaches now, I just can't talk enough about the quality of our programs, because you don't want to play in our gym and you don't want to face York College in a playoff, because you know we're there to fight. And that tradition has come from Coach Campbell, Coach Simpson, Coach Touchton, all the way through our period now. And our athletic director, Jared Stark, I mentioned this several times, that Jared Stark has brought a stability to this program and has brought some of the greatest coaches that York College has ever had. I'm excited because when I go to other schools, I was asked recently at a Christian high school meeting, they said, what do you do on your campus to ensure that spirituality is important? I said, you hire the right coaches, because they have the impact on your student life. And we can see that all over this campus. I applaud all of you coaches and the young men and women that you brought with you, because they are the leaders. And they're not just the leaders in their teams, they're the leaders on this campus. It's because of the athletic traditions that we have. If you notice in the program, I'm here to make a special announcement, and I'm very proud to do that. We have had someone who is really recommitted to the college, and they have made a donation for us, a matching donation, to help us provide a clubhouse for our baseball team. As you know, our baseball team a couple years ago went to the World Series. The guys dress in their rooms. They don't have any place to store their stuff, so the coach's office is always cluttered with stuff. And so we are finally to the point where we are going to take a portion in the basement of Hulitt Hall, our old dorm, maybe even your room.
I don't need it anymore.
And it is going to be repurposed into the baseball clubhouse. So before I announce the honoree in whom we are going to name that facility, it'll get out, but I've asked Roger Lowry if he could to come and represent the donor in making this announcement. The donor, for those of you who remember past years, is Gary Bartholomew, former president of York College. Right?
Gary had sent called me from Lima, Peru last night and asked if I would read his statement today, and I'm happy to do that, but I just can't resist making a comment or two ahead of that, because it is hard to believe that it's almost 50 years ago when the first York College baseball team took the field for their initial game. Talk about goosebumps. We were excited. And I'm glad that I've learned that all the strength plays up the middle, because that's why I know now that I play left field. But anyway, I still, the excitement of being able to play baseball for York College was just terrific. Even back then, it was evident that Coach Touchton cared about each of us, and suicide squeeze and all, he knew the game. He knew the game. Coach, you really got something started. You really did. Appreciate it. And I have to say, you see the kind of people that Coach Paul is, and his sisters and his brother. It goes back to family. And I was privileged to live in Jacksonville for 7 years and grow to love them, know them, and love them, and especially your mom and dad. Beautiful, wonderful, loving Christian people. And boy, they sure turned out a family. Well, the next year at York College, we started the baseball program, got to play in that. And the next year, Coach Touchton launched the soccer program of York College because he'd read a book. Well, anyway, he said to me, Roger, you're going to be the goalkeeper. I said, good, Coach, what's a goalkeeper? Which, except for the 4 international students that we had, all of us were asking about the same thing. But it was evident that the coach had already learned about the game, and he could really give valuable instruction. And he said to me, 7 words, and you can guess what they were. Keep the ball out of the net. Okay. Simple. Well, as you might have, since we were all just learning the game, you might understand that we had a lot of attacks on our goal. And I would come out after a game and a match, and my legs would be battered and bruised and bleeding. But Coach, ever compassionate, had the answer. Only thing I can't remember for sure is, Coach, how many matches did we play where you sent me out in baseball catcher shin guards before some other coach said, hey, you can't do that? True story. But Gary was my teammate, travel partner, a longtime friend, and he wanted to be able to have a statement read, and I'm really proud to do that. Coach Touchton has blessed the lives of a legion of young men and women in his role as coach, faculty member, and mentor. He's a significant figure in the lives of those of us who are privileged to play baseball, soccer, basketball, participate in his gym classes, or live in Middlebrook Hall. That was an experience too. Our lives have been blessed by his example and leadership. It is our great pleasure to honor Coach Touchton for all he has and continues to mean to us in our lives. We love you, Coach. Gary. I think we can all say amen to that.
So now the announcement. We are pleased to announce that we are starting the renovation on the basement of Hulitt Hall for the Paul Touchton Baseball Clubhouse. I'll let Paul say a few words, but I want to hasten to point out that this is a matching gift. And if you are so inclined to help us out with this project, the athletic department would love to have donations in honor of Coach Touchton to dedicate this space. So, that's it.
I'm pretty flabbergasted. I'll say that. It was a very humble beginning, and I was a shadow of the expertise of the coaches that you have now. And I hope that whatever little influence we had, you will forget the bad things. And the truth is that Roger was being killed in practice because we had recruited halfbacks and defensive backs and wide receivers and running backs and point guards from basketball to play soccer, and they only knew one word, which was Harold Tandy's constant admonition: charge! So in practice, he just got beat to death. And literally, the first game I ever coached in soccer was the first game I ever saw. And you can imagine what a travesty that was. At one point in that game, all of a sudden, Harold Tandy said to me, "I think we've got the right group on the field." I said, "Yes, we do. We have 13 players out there." I sent in 2, and the other 2 didn't come out. It's a very good offense. So I think Coach Campbell knew what he was doing to me when he did that. But the traditions that you now have, I think York is extremely unique to have such a huge contingency of student athletes here. And I say those words together, and now I would put in that Christian student athletes. What a combination. So I am honored beyond words. Thank you very much.
We are going to be led by one of our talented volleyball players. Kaylee Firm is going to lead us in the alma mater, and after that, Jared Stark will dismiss us from